नमस्कार आपण समस्त को आम यूट्यूब चैनल लर्निंग एकाडेमी को स्वागत एवं आज वीडियो आलोचना करबा आपण माने आसीथिबा प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड अबाउट रे सेकंड सेमिस्टर प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड एवं ଏହା होची आपण मानकर सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड। तेणु जो मैंने प्रथम चैनल को विजिट कर वीडियो लाइक करूँ शेयर करूँ सब्सक्राइब करूँ पाखे था बेल आइकन बटन को क्लिक करूँ जहाँफल कि यहपरि न्यू न्यू वीडियो नोटिफिकेशन आपरे। तेणु चलो देखा कौन रही आपर सेकेंड सेमिस्टर प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड जोटा कि हूँ आचार्य नागार्जुन यूनिवर्सिटी आंध्रा यूनिवर्सिटी योगीवेमना यूनिवर्सिटी और रयलसीमा यूनिवर्सिटी डॉक्टर B.Ed आंबेडकर यूनिवर्सिटी प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड सेकेंड सेमिस्टर तेणु एक्टिविटी 1 एटा हूँ आपर कौन लिखा है आम आलोचना करवा। स्टडी द डाइवर्सिटीज एक्जिस्टिंग इन द कम्युनिटी एंड डिस्क्राइब द रूट्स कॉज फॉर सच डाइवर्सिटीज। आपण मन रखु जेतक हेडिंग एवं जेतक सब हेडिंग रहिला सबतक हूँ आपण मानकर ब्लैक कलम लिखिए एवं ब्लू कलम रे आपण सबतक लिखिए आपण मानकर जहाँ सब आपणकर रोचे आपणकर डिस्क्रिप्शन तक एवं जहाँ डायग्राम तक रही आपण मानकर डायग्राम गुड़ाक आपण माने ऑलरेडी आपण माने सेटू पेपर कट करके मारिबे। तेणु यहीपर भाव में आप एक्टिविटी गुड़ाक लिखिए एवं इंट्रोडक्शन जो देखिए कौन लिखाई डेफिनेशन फॉर डाइवर्सिटी द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ डाइवर्सिटी एनकम्पासेस accompanies respect it means understanding that the each individuals is unique recognition our individual differences. These can also be the dimension of races, ethnic, gender, sexual orientation, socio-economical statuses, physical abilities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, other ideology. It is the exploration of difference. It's safe, positive, maturing environment. It is the exploration beyond a simple tolerance to embracing the celebrating the rich dimension of diversity content within each individual. Diversity means more than just one is acknowledgements even difference is a set of conscious practices that involve understanding and appreciating independent intents of the humanity, cultures and the natural environment. तेणु यहीपर भाव सेकेंड देखिए पेज कौन लिखाई practicing the mutual respect for qualities and the experience that are the different from our own. Understanding the diversity includes not only the ways of being but also the of knowing, recognizing that the personal, culture and institutional dimension creating sustaining disadvantages others, circulating the alliances across the difference so that we can work together, eradicate for all form discrimination. Diversity include therefore the knowing how to relate to those qualities and conditions that are the different from our own sides, groups to which we belongs get are present in other individuals and group. This is including not limited to age, ethics, class, gender, physical abilities, qualities, races, sexual orientation as well as the religious status, gender expression, educational background, geographical location, income, marital status, parental status and the work experience. Finally, we acknowledge that the categories of differential are not always the fixed but also can be fluid. We respect individual rights to self the identification and we recognize that no one culture is intrinsically superior to another. Which types of diversity, species diversity in the number of different species that are the presented in a given communities. The effective number of species refers to the number of equally abundant the species needed to the obtain same means the proportional species abundance of the observed that of the interest whether the species be equally abundant. A genetic diversity serves a way of a population to adopt the changing environment with more variation. It is more likely that some individual is in a population which possesses variations to alex the suited environment. Those individuals are more likely to survive the produce of offspring bearing that allay. Biodiversity, contraction of biological diversity, generally refers to the variety and the variability of the life on the earth. One of the most widely used of the definition defines it in terms of the variability in the species between the ecosystem. It is a measure of the variety of organisms present in different ecosystem. The number of variety plants, animals and other organisms that existing is known as the biodiversity. Caste diversity माने कौन ना India is a country of caste. Caste is our jati refers to the hereditary endogamous status group of practicing of a specific traditional occupation. It is surprising to know that there are more than 3/4 of India, we find a caste among the Muslim, Christian, Sikhs, as well as the communities. We find a caste among the hierarchy, Sikh, Said, Mughals, patrons among the Muslim. Further, there is a caste like Teli, oil presser, Dhobi, washerman, the dairy tailors, and among and the Muslim. In view of this, we can imagine the extent of caste diversity in India. Religious diversity. India is not a religious homogeneous state even through nearly so present populations, profession, Hinduism. India is a land of multi-purposed religions. We find here a follower of variety of faiths, particularly of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism. We know that it's a Hinduism is dominated the religion of India. Next comes the Islam, which is a particularly 13.04% of 3% of Sikhs, reportedly by the 1.9% Buddhism, 0.8% Jainism, 0.4% with lesson of the Judaism and Zoroastrianism, and the religions with the lesser of the following: Judaism, Mahabalism, Zoroastrianism, etc. Islamic across the within the context of Latinity, the second half of the 6th century, a period of political disorder in Arabia. Communications routes there is no longer secure according to the tradition, and the Islamic prophet Muhammad was born in the Mecca around the years. His family belonged to when he was about the 40 years old, begin the receiving a Muslim, consider his diversity, his relevance delivered to the angle Gabriel, which would be the latter from the Arabs, and enjoying him a proclaim strictly monastics faith. One is comparison of independing the judgment day and the castage of the social linguistic of the day. In Arthur's, he was occupied and arbiter among the different communities of the cities under the terms of the constitution of Medina. Muhammad began to the lay of the found of the action the new Islamic society with the help of a new Quran verses, provided the guidance of matter of law, religious observance, roots of Hinduism. This is a process of Sanskritization, assimilations, explain the wide diversity of local culture in India, has the soul of the traditions, all the cloak of the concept unity. Conclusion, in the community there is a different types of diversity even though we live with a यूनिटी. तेणु एक्टिविटी 2 कौन लिखा है आप देखो ना, study the cultural practices the prevailing in the lot of community in the summit of report. Introduction कौन सी ना, culture refers to the cumulative deposit knowledge, experience, beliefs, values, attitude, meanings in the hierarchical religion national of timing roles vital concept of community. It is a group of people and the people of the genetics and through the individuals and the group of striving. Cultural practices general refer to the manifestation of culture, subculture, especially in regarded to the traditional and customary practice of all particular ethics or other cultural groups. Music is an art from the cultural activity whose medium is a sound of the silence. Those common element of music therapy, the rhythm, the dynamic and the sonic quality of the timbre and textures. Differential style of types of music, the emphasizing or the sum of these elements. Music performed with a vast range of instrumental with a vocal technique ranging the form singing, rapping, and there is the solo instrumental piecely that combining singing and instruments common saying the such that the rhythm the spears. It is the music of the answer of the point to the nation that music often urban pleasure and listen to. Music has many different fundamental or element depending on a definition. Element being used can use a fixed beat of pulse, tempo, rhythms, melody, harmony, texture, style, circulation, voice, timbre, color, dynamics, expression, articulation, form, and the structure. Music is an important part of the people way of life as it is a play a key role in religious rituals, rite, passages, social activities, cultural song and singing to playing an amateur community sure people of the music hobby sports means all are the form the usually competitive physically activity games which through a casual organizing participation aim to use a maintain or improve the physical ability and skill while providing enjoyment the participation in the sum of causes entertainment up from the spectaculars. A number of such two sides of contest may be an argument in a tournament proceeding a championship. Many sports rank the make an annual champion by arguing game in a regular sports session followed in some causes by playoffs. Hundred of sports existing from those between single contest through to those of the hundreds of the simultaneous participation either in the team of competing is an individual in a certain sport such as racing. Many contests may be is against all winner and sports are usually governed by self of rule of customs which serve to ensure the fair competitions consideration. Winning can be determined by the physical events such as scoring goals, crossing line pass its goals determining by judges who are scoring the sporting performance including objective or subjective measures such as technical performance, artistic impression. The word sport comes from the old French definition meaning the leisure with the oldest definition in an English from around the 1300 being the anything the human find assuming or entering. Conclusion is sports support the social order and it is a values of the power of structure which community culture operates. तेणु ये सरीगला एक्टिविटी 2 एवं एक्टिविटी 3 देखा. एक्टिविटी 2 आपन देखुले जितक हेडिंग सब लिखा है सब तो ब्लैक कलम एवं डिस्क्रिप्शन तक ब्लू कलर लिखिबे एवं कंक्लूजन मते आपन माने एठी जा हेडिंग अछि ताकू मते आपन माने ब्लैक कलम लिखिबे एवं सपोर्ट स्टोर्स द सोशल ऑर्डर एवं एंड इट्स वैल्यूज जा लिखा जेटी सब social order its values as well as supports the social order its values as well as the structure which is a community culture operates ए जो ऑपरेट्स स्पोर्ट्स आरंग ऑपरेट्स पन जहाँ भी रहिला आपण मानकर आपण माने जहाँ भी स्पोर्ट्स सोशल ऑर्डर इट्स वैल्यू जो वेल्थ ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर व्हिच इज कम्युनिटी कल्चर सब तक आपण माने लिखिबे ब्लू कलम रे. एवं एक्टिविटी 3 देखिबा कोन लिखा अछि एजुकेशन एंड सोशल मोबिलिटी कंडक्ट ए सर्वे ऑफ विलेज वार्ड एंड प्रिपेयर रिपोर्ट. सोशल मोबिलिटी कोन ना सोशल मोबिलिटी हो जी जे कांसेप्ट ऑफ क्लोजली रिलेटेड टू द सोशल स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन इन ए सेंसेशनल मोबिलिटी द ब्रेकिंग बैरियर स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन पीपल इन वन सोशल स्ट्रैटी ऑलवेज वांट टू चेंज देयर क्लास स्टेटस इज अ लाइफस्टाइल by the temporary talented and the skill. However, in some society it is possible to arise in the sum of society it is a very difficult to change one class and status unspite the ability. Social mobility can be defined as the individualism ability to change social class membership status life chance singles mobile stratifications system of society. Types of mobility social science describe the several types of mobility. Vertical mobility this is refers to mainly an individual either is an upward direction in the system of stratification. Horizontal mobility sometimes changed in occupation of acquisition moral wealth may occur in individual life but there will be no change in the social stratification or responsibility. This kind of change is a horizontal mobility. This is an example in India the rural community and untouchable caste persons may converted this is a religion with the false hope that he will be the acquitted by the upper castes. Unfortunately in many cases this doesn't happen. This kind of the movement from one religion to other religion with no change social status is one of the example of horizontal mobility. Among intergenerational mobility this is a reference to the upwarded mobility of the children of one family is composed to this parent to economics friend so the brother of the sister another. Here there is a parent of the children belonging to the succeeding generation. Sociologists who study a relationship between the education social mobility usually focus their attention on international generation differences in class of the status of power. Acharya intra-generation mobility sometimes within the same generation a few individuals by making use of educational occupational opportunities can go in economical social status leaving behind their friends brother and sisters other relatives. This is intra-generation mobility and continuation of intra-generation mobility in the stage of human relationship and types of society and social mobility. Among social mobility is closely associated with the types of society. In that context of sociology classified societies in two ways, namely open in the society and closed to the society. Upward social mobility is almost impossible in a closed society. On the other hand, social mobility in the cashier of the society in Indian society is an example of closed society, when is an American society is usually used an example of open society. Cultural elements in a life caste, names and a sanction of strongly abstract people of the enclosed society. There is a argument in the open society. Lower stratification can freely climb up in the social stratification ability in one limit. However, is only the Indian society's social stratification is on the caste system. Respect our social status increases of one move from the tower and caste to the upper caste and gets his caste by the bar. There is a legal protection against the discrimination due to caste, religion and sex. A person of the belonging to the scheduled caste and in touching family that may be higher education get a decent job and this become qualified the intermediate class economically. Survey methodology, a field of applied statistical human research. Survey is methodology studies that sampling individual and unit population that associate with the survey that did technique used such as basis constitutions method for on improving the numbers. तेणु यहाँ पर देखिए गोटे टेबुलटे आपर अच्छी तेणु से टेबुलटे आम देखा कौन रही आपर टेबुलटी देखो लिखाई सीरियल नंबर, ओनर्स नेम, फैमिली मेंबर्स, चिल्ड्रेन्स, तापर कौन लिखाई आपणकर डिपेंडेंट, कास्ट, रिलीजियंस, ऑक्युपेशन, आपणकर एनुअल सैलरी, प्रॉपर्टीज. तेणु ये आपणकर अच्छी संपूर्ण भाव में एवं देखा कौन रही एक नंबर लिखाई ताड़ेस्ताई, प्रसाद, गोत्री, नागमणि, दुपति, वेंकटेश्वर, वार्लमु, गंजा, साई, सुवर्णम, एम नागा, श्रीनु, भ्री, शिवा, ब्रह्मणि, नागा, रॉयल, के संबक्य एवं एम श्रीनिवास, टी नारायण, एम वेंकटेश्वर, ए यादकोन, ए सुधाकर, ए कोकेश, ए संबर, शिवा के पलम, के विरम्स, ए आदि नारायणम. तेणु ये जो 19 ना लिखा 19 ना संपूर्ण बायोडाटा मत दिखाई. ये 4टी मेंबर थे, 2टी चिल्ड्रेन, नो एवं कास्ट हूँ बीसी. बीसी मान हूँ कौन ना बैकवर्ड क्लास, हिंदू, बिजनेसमैन, 15 लाख टका एनुअल इनकम एवं प्रॉपर्टी हाउसिंग लैंड अच्छी. तेणु यही सब जिनस जहाँ लिखाई आपमती ये देखिए सेम टू सेम उतारे किंतु आपंकर जहाँ भी रहा कलम रहा हेडिंग सब हेडिंग गुड़ाक रहा ताको आपने ब्लैक कलम लिखे, ब्लू कलम आपने डेस्क्रिप्शन देवे. तेणु यहीपरि भाव देखा कौन अच्छी रही आपर लेखा प्रैक्टिकल्स. यहाँ हूँ आपंकर आलोचना कर सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन. मन रखु सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन ऑफ एजुकेशंस ये जिनसटी रोचे एवं तार सबू सिस्टम देखो ये जदि आप देखिए जे आपणकर समस्त डायग्राम दि जाइए एवं कौन रही देखो एनालिसिस एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द डाटा. आई स्टडिंग द B.Ed इन B.R कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन. आई एक्चुअली आई स्टडिंग B.Ed इन आपणकर निज रेस्पेक्टिव कॉलेज ना लिखे. आई कंडक्टेड सर्विंग द फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ द नो दैट एजुकेशन एंड सोशल मोबिलिटी इन अ विलेज ऑन वार्ड. सो वी वांट टू प्रोसेस विलेजेस. वी कलेक्टेड द डाटा फ्रॉम देम. इन our survey the total 20 families are residing. All are BC caste, some are other caste. More of the families working as the auto driver, cooling, farmer and carpenter, maintain small shop, biodiversity, selling vegetables. Like that, most of the families are uneducated. They are incomplete in their schooling. They are having a much responsibility. They do not have the much incomplete their responsibilities. Their children are the studying government schools. Some children are parents in their occupation. Most of their own housing in the family. Jobs कौन अच्छी ना in our survey some families doing the government job. Their income, a family and a social status very satisfactory. Among there is a children also the studying provide a school. They are providing opportunities for their children. Education in our education कौन ना in our survey knowing that the importance of education, how educated families spend their life, and stratificatory education is most powerful weapon to bring a social change, social status or society that leads to the social mobility. Finally, I concluded that we should provide the education opportunity for our children because future of country depend of them. Today's the children are tomorrow citizens, so give a proper education from children to make our society develop. এবং activity 4 ଦେଖିବା କ'ଣ ଲେଖା ଅଛି ନା study the social stratification in a village ward ଏବଂ prepared a report on it. Social stratification कौन ना introduction कौन अच्छी ना in a every different types of inequalities are found among the people. These unequal groups are argued in some of hierarchical status and power. In other words, they are the around in the different categories and stratification. People in the lower state are less respect, get a few benefit, wealth and power. At the same time, people of the upper layer of state are given the most respect and they get the more benefit. Sociological call this is a inequality. Social organism can define the arrangement of any social group or society into a hierarchy of position that are the unequal with regard to power, poverty, social evaluation and the psychic gratification. Thus psychic gratification include the abilities of the people to control other by in which they can the secure end of the life rights to over goods and service prestige on their degree of honor. The person get a virtue of the position in the society and secure the pleasure of the contentment with the weather of the status. Characteristic of the stratification, the following characteristic listed the two made. It is a social pattern character, it is a unique, it is a inequality, as it is a diversity of items because the social stratification exists in every society through different forms with different forms of different effects has caught the attention of society sociologists and philosophically since ancient times till now. There is a theories can be broadly classified into there is the categories. There are classified the conservative theories among structural functional theories among the conflicts theories. The society develops the systematic grading the people, ranking the accordingly to their role. This is a system created inequality but it's a brought of the stability in the society of the people. So even the scientist supports this is theory and this theory cannot be explained why they prevent the society a few who do less and enjoying the more wealth and the structural function. They are the also called the equilibrium theory and the theory explain the stratification from the point of view of the needs of the society. Some of these functions become the necessary. These are the likely playing land to the rearing cattle can be done by many people without much training and the moreover the not everybody is inequalities to the becomes of the successful doctor, but the society wants to all types of service and rules unless the intelligent people are selected and roles unless the war of the determinants among administrations and the doctors or the doctors. Some societies are social mobilities. These are based on the social roles and functions and a system of stratification have emerged in course of time in some society. The service it becomes a hereditary and the social mobility is a very difficult situation. Some of society is a very different. Both of these theories starts with the assumption that stratification has resulted from the need of society encourage people to take off different roles and functions. They say that the people and the people of the society but they are the most powerful, so they could grab all the capital and could explore people of lower state, that is unskilled workers. The working of a class approaches and is not allowed to move in the society in due to the allowed to move of the society in the course of time. Working class of oppressed, it is not allowed to move up in the society In due course of timing, working class gets frustrated. Their relevant agency capitalize on upper the straight of the society. Survey methodology कौन ना a field applied to static of the human researches. Survey methodology studies the sampling of individualizing unity from a population and the associated survey the data collection, the technique use such construction and the method for improving the number of accuracy response to survey. এবং তাପରେ কোন ଅଛି ଦେଖିବା ତାପରେ ବି ସେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଟେବୁଲ ଅଛି ଯୋଉ ଟେବୁଲ ଉପରେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବା ସେଇ ସିରିयल ନମ୍ବର ନେମ୍ ଅଫ ଦ ନମ୍ବର ଅଫ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ମେମ୍ବର୍ସ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ଅଫ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ମେମ୍ବର୍ସ ଏଜ୍ ଏଜୁକେସନ ଷ୍ଟାଟସ୍ ଅକୁପେସନ୍ସ ଇନକମ୍ କାଷ୍ଟ ଏବଂ କାଷ୍ଟ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଠି ସବୁ ଯାହା ବି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ଆପଣ ସେମ୍ ଟୁ ସେମ୍ ଉତାର ଦେବେ ହେଡିଂ ସବ ହେଡିଂ ଗୁଡାକ ଏବଂ କଲମ ଗୁଡାକ ବ୍ଲାକ୍ କଲମ ଲେଖି ବାକି ତ ବ୍ଲୁ କଲମ ଆପଣ ଲେଖିବେ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 ଏବଂ এই পুরা সিরিয়াল নম্বর 11 12 13 14 15 16 এবং এইপରି ଭାବରେ ଆପଣମାନେ ଏସବୁ ଟେବୁଲଟିକୁ ଫିଲ୍ଅପ୍ କରିବେ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଅଲରେଡ଼ି ଟେବୁଲଟିକୁ ମୁଁ ଆଉଥରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖାଇ ଦେଉଛି ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ପେଜ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏଠି ବି ଗୋଟେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଇଏ ବି ଗୋଟେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପେଜ୍ ରହୁଛି ଏବଂ ତା ଉପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଇଏ ବି ଗୋଟିଏ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର ପେଜ୍ ବି ରହୁଛି ତେଣୁ ଏହିପରି ଭାବରେ ଆପଣମାନେ लिखिपारे एवं देखो तापर रही कौन आपण मानकर सिस्टम्स एवं देखा कौन रही आक्टिविटी लेखा तेणु यहाँ जहाँ भी लिखे सब सेम टू सेम लिखे खाली आक्टिविटी को जम्बलिंग कर लिखे माने चेंज कर लिखे तेणु देखा कौन रही संपूर्ण भाव में डाटा एनालिसिटिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ डाटा आई स्टडिंग द बीड ऑफ आपण निज कॉलेज ना लिखे टू द आसाम कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन के आपंकर श्रीडी साई कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन जहाँ भी लिखा लिखे आपंकर वैष्णव कॉलेज हो कि जो कौन कॉलेज होना कहीं टू नो द socials Mahasa college लिखले चलियो to the social stratification a society we conducted a survey that in a Fothor village for that purpose we want to village and we gather the detailed information about families in our survey we covered the total 19 families that they are the residing in a colony all the families are belongs to a basic caste in these colonies most of them are uneducated they are working a farmer auto driver maintaining a small steps vegetable sellers most of them are accepted their parental occupation account education some of families are educated and they are doing the government jobs like a teacher clerk bank explorer their children and studying the private while not such schools they have properties upon vehicles respect in this survey we know that those are having the education income properties and vehicles they are the get more respected social status than other social status from the olden days in our society was controlled by the landlords or rich people means those who are maintaining school status they are also get the power to control others in our society three categories of families generally we observe the rich middle poor families in these categories rich families have more controlling the power on others here also in the surveying all are belongs to the basic caste of the families but those are the having a social status they get more respect from others social stratifications and education so this is a stratification has become a change of education one of the most important factors that can be a change the mind of people things perspective to life to the better life तेणु activity 5 देखिबा introductions आपणकर कौन रही cultural of refers the community despite to know the age of the experience beliefs values attitudes meanings hierarchical religions notations of time role spital relationship concept of the universal and the material objection and the possession of acquired by the group of people in the course of the generation through a individual group of strivings cultural practices generally refer to the manifestation of a cultural especially in the regard of the traditional customary practices of a particular ethnic manifesting any aspects of the main cultures of the music is an art from the cultural activities whose medium is a sound of silence the common elements of music repeats rhythms dynamics and sonic qualities of timbre. The textures music is performed with a vast range of instruments and with a vocal technique ranging the forming the rapping, and there are solo instrument and with the vast range vocal solo the vocal pieces. The word these are the Greek word mosque among common sayings such as the harmony of the spheres, and it is a music to my ears of the point of to that notice that music is an often order the passionate to the listens এবং to however the 20th century is a composer John Cages throughout the any sounds can be music saying. For an example, there is no issues, only sound. Music is an important part of the people way of life as it plays a key role of religious rituals, rites, passionates, acquaintances, social activities, and the cultural activities ranging from amateur the single playing the folks. Peoples may make music a hobby, sports, or all forms usually competitively physically activity or games which through the casual organized participation. And I am to the maintain of the improve the physical ability to skills while providing enjoyment the participation, and it's some causes of the entertainment. The spectators among sports are usually government by sets of rules or the customs which serve to ensure the last page fair the competitions, and last page and allowing the constitution activity 5 last page rejection of the winner can determined by physical events such as scoring goals or crossing a line fast. It can all the determined by judges who are the scoring elements of the sporting performance, including the objectives subjectives measures such as technical performance or artistic impressions. The word sports from the old French is sports meaning the leisure with an oldest definition in an English form around 1300 being anything human find assuming entertainment. Conclusion kon rahila sports supports the social order. It's a values as well as the power of structures within the which is a community is a cultural operator. तेणु ये सरी जाइए आपन सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन 5टी एक्टिविटी आपन कहि दउची आपन 5टी एक्टिविटी जम्पलिंग कर लिखिबे माने मोर पीडीएफ रे एक्टिविटी 1 को आपन पीडीएफ एक्टिविटी 2 3 4 5 ए पूरा लिखिबे कारण सेम लिखिबेनी जेतु 100 पिला हजार पिला सब यूनिवर्सिटी लिखिबे तेन लेखा सेम हेले टिके असुविधा हबो मार्क दबारे तेन डिफरेंट आपन सेम आमठो कॉपी करी उतारंतु वीडियो को मझरे पॉज करके पेज वाइज आपन लिखंतु हेडिंग सब हेडिंग आपनकर ब्लैक कलर दियंतु ब्लू कलर डिस्क्रिप्शन दियंतु एवं डायग्राम जा अछि पेपर रो यूट्यूब रो आपनकर गूगल क्रोम रो आपन माने प्रिंट करी नै आपन कट करी मारि परिबे एवं निजर समस्त खाता पेज फिल करंतु वीडियो को लाइक करंतु शेयर करंतु सब्सक्राइब करंतु पाखे त्या बेल आइकन बटन टी क्लिक करंतु जा फलर कि एही परिका न्यू वीडियो नोटिफिकेशंस आपण माने पाई परिबे। तेणु यह आम आलोचना करथिले सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन रो प्रैक्टिकल सेकंड सेमेस्टर प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड वीडियो यह मध्य आपण मानकर आचार्य नागार्जुन यूनिवर्सिटी आंध्रा यूनिवर्सिटी योगिवेमना यूनिवर्सिटी रॉयल सीमा यूनिवर्सिटी एवं आपण मानकर से भाव में आपंकर जेकोसी यूनिवर्सिटी रहा आंध्र प्रदेश जो ओडिशा पिला B.Ed कर समस्ते से सेम प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड लिखिपारे खाली नुहे जेटा नागार्जुन यूनिवर्सिटी नुहे सब यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेबस सेम सब यूनिवर्सिटी प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड लेखा सेम खाता सेम कौटी असाइनमेंट दिया होची कौटी दिया होनी। तेणु अतीत में ऑलरेडी वीडियो सब अपलोड करी आप आगामी दिन में आहरी सब प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड वीडियो अपलोड आपंकर निश्चय चैनल माध्यम पाइपर। तेणु यह आपंकर संपूर्ण भाव में आपणकर सोशियोलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन एजुकेशन संपूर्ण वीडियो।